Hey, and welcome to the Johniverse. Happy 420 with the Clown Man. So the idea of this video is that I'm a Southern California native, kind of an out there guy, and I'm gonna walk us through how to get into a good smoke sesh. And then we'll just keep the video rolling so you have a video buddy to smoke out with. Some wild guy, some Los Angeles artist guy. And we'll keep it flowy, keep it feeling good. You can just keep the vibe rolling. Let's be a good smoke sesh. Good vibes. Good vibes. Stays on the right and along the way, you know. I'll say some stuff. Maybe it'll be deep. Maybe it'll be funny. Maybe it'll be nothing. So every good smoke sesh begins with some quality marijuana. Today's case, we have some Purple Punch Skittles from a local dispensary. Oh, it's always good to appreciate the aroma of the marijuana, much like a wine connoisseur. Every bud has its own bouquet, communicates its own beautiful little herbal secrets to you. Veteran smoker stuff, what can you say? So this stuff is really good. It's a little bit of a hybrid, which means it's between indica and sativa. If you don't know, indica sort of makes you a little more lethargic, a little more in your body, a little more traditionally stereotyped stoner conk out. Sativa, it's on the upper side. You can be very functional on sativa. It's very good for professional creatives, creative sessions, intellectual stimulation. Many people, when they find the right strain of marijuana for them, find out that it unlocks a lot of efficiency and productivity in themselves, helps them actualize more of their potential. I found that to be true for myself. So, take the marijuana, put it in a grinder. In the early days, it's hard to like commit to a good grinder, but it's worth it, trust me. So grinding marijuana has a very similar effect for you coffee drinkers who will know about this, is grinding fresh coffee. So the more finely you grind it, it's like a coffee bean. If you want espresso, you just do a very fine grind. Unlocks more of the surface area for the active chemicals to come to the surface, and also opens up flavor bouquets, freshness. It's a whole bunch of things. It's really worth doing. So got that. So here we're gonna light it up. Happy 420 wherever you are in the world. Thank God for California and Los Angeles making all this stuff totally legal. Everybody's cool with it. So here we go. One of Mother Nature's many gifts to us. Thank you, Gaia. So that's a nice smooth flow into what's the beginning of a good sesh right here. And for those of you that are doing, always good to have water close by, especially an appropriately sized mug. Wouldn't be a stoner sesh without a good cough, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Okay. So that's in. So for some of us who have real jobs, and when you first smoke, you're just going to experience a lot of stress coming off your field. Bunch of stress, just coming off. Next step, you just put on some good music, something you like, whatever it is. You just start feeling good. And in fact, if you want, at this point in the video, if you don't want to hear me talk anymore, if you don't want to hear whatever music I'm putting on this, for whatever reason, personal choice, free will. I'm a huge advocate of free will. I'm pro free will. I'm pro you having free will. I'm pro, there's a lot that goes with that, but I am. So at this point in the video, if you decide that you'd like to completely mute me, I'm not offended. I'm not that kind of performer. Because the rest of the video is going to have just a lot of tasty visuals. And some guy in clown wig. Me, John. I'm a guy in clown wig. I prefer to think of it as a rainbow full spectrum activation wig, but clown wig for short. I smoke and I know things. So at this point in the video, if you want to mute me and just keep it rolling, put on your own jams, just be like, treat me like a visual. Dude, I'm pro that. This is about connecting the good vibes of the smoke sesh from all around the world. From here on out, I'm gonna get higher. I'm gonna get higher. I'm gonna get a little creative. But most of all, I'm not gonna lose my sense of humor. So, if you feel like turning down the volume, rocking out your own soundtrack to this, especially if you're on a repeat viewing. I mean, this is gonna be around for a bit, so maybe it's your first sesh, you want to hear what I have to say. The second time, you're like, dude, got it. I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. First time around, maybe second time around, right? Maybe. But I get it. Like first, second, second, third, fourth time you watch it, you're like, I just want to smoke out. No, mute. I got some dope jams I want to put on. Dope jams, or not dope jams. I don't know. Slam poetry. I like slam poetry. Maybe ambient noise. Maybe nothing. Maybe just put me on for the pugs. You're in the middle of Ohio. You have 5 pugs. You know how hard it is to entertain pugs? Good Christ. Look at the faces. Those faces have been entertained. I mean, they're constantly entertaining us, for one. Let's not make two bones about that one. Thanks, pugs. So, last advisory to you at home. If you just want to play me for your pugs, put me on mute. Just let the pugs watch me. Hey, pugs. That pug's like, yeah, that guy gets me. Like, oh, you gotta go crazy eye. I mean, once you go a little crazy eye, well, let's face it, pugs, man, they got it's one of their defining traits is just, they got shifty eyes, but they just have 25% googly eyes. It's a weird thing, it's the way it worked out. But it's true. God damn it, it's true. Pugs know. If you know a pug, and I definitely mean that in the biblical sense. Because do you really know a pug if you don't know the pug in the biblical sense? Sometimes I'm going to ask the hard-hitting questions. It's just the way it goes. But to know a pug. Oh, to know a pug. I knew a pug once. I wouldn't be at all surprised to find out that Jack Black is a pug wearing a very, very large and very poorly done human costume. I don't think that's controversial. I don't think that's controversial. Is that... Where are we even at now? Whoa. Hello. You know what that means? More weed. Ding dong, more weed. So I'm a pro here on tour. So we step it up. This is a little treat. This one's kind of a big deal. This one's a Galaxy. LA, we've been in the weed game so long. Starting with medical cannabis and whatnot, really allowed the R&D factors of all the businesses to like really get deep in and just science the fuck out of weed. And many of the growers and stuff, they didn't have any problems directly equating and accepting the fact that they were engaged in a sort of vintnership, like very parallel to the wine industry level amount of professionalism with developing their product, which is, marijuana. And so unencumbered by guilt or any other weird thing nagging at their conscience, they really just went in quick with the buds and figured out how to grow them, crossbreed them, science them, all that stuff. I say that all by way of saying that this Galaxy, okay, so this thing, it's filled with top shelf bud for one. It's a hybrid, which means it's in between indica and sativa, which makes it more balanced high, which is good. This one doesn't. You can do stuff on this still, and you get a lot of stuff. Top shelf bud, high THC content, decent amount of CBD, and what we've done is they've gone ahead and when they not only do they have the top shelf bud in it, they have keef in it, which is nice. Then they roll it in resin and keef. So it's basically like a hash joint. And I've smoked hash in Amsterdam a number of times. It was too good. It was so good. It was crazy. I had to throw it out because it was too good. Yeah, so this thing's rocking like, what is that, like 578 milligrams of THC, something like 9 milligrams CBD, 40-something% THC. It's crazy. It's a long way of saying this thing's a firecracker. Aptly named Galaxy. We're just gonna do a little toke on this. A little sage you out. Oh boy. This type of joint makes you beg for water. So this is the type of joint that you bring one of these to a party, like, with people that like smoke, of course. You bring one of these to a party, you can get the whole party lit, just super high. Done it a bunch. Had a bunch of fancy friends over, all ranges of people, and pull out one of those, like once everybody's comfortable, and like, oh hey, because when you go to a house party, there's that whole cycle where, if you're like me, I grew up in the suburbs, so, a lot of my socializing is very suburban based. So house parties, that's the thing. And so like there's a sort of unspoken about cycle for house party attendance where it's like you get the invitation, Then there's a level of anxiety that sort of builds up, like pre-anxiety. You didn't even know was there. Like that, you're like, oh, social situations. You know, and you still have like this high school, at least I did, had this high school template for like what a house party was. Oh, a party at somebody else's house. Uh-oh. So you go through all that, at least I did. And so everybody to some degree is going through that, especially if it's let's say it's a good friend recommends a new friend's house party. Well, that's kind of a situation. Right? I mean, I have personal friends, like Mike, who, if Mike says like, hey, why don't you come to this party at this person's house or whatever, then I'm like, dude, that's golden. And I think we all have people like that in our social circles, you know. And if we're fortunate, we have more than one of those. And my recommendation is just to make sure that you have good friends like that, where as you go through life, go, hey, I trust this person's opinion, and then it just saves you a lot of time. It's really one of the best benefits of relationships. So if you're at a party and you're with a bunch of people and everybody gets comfortable, they get past all that stuff, all that heavy stuff, and then they're like, oh, okay, cool. Everybody's like eating a little something, drinking a little something, and they're like, oh, music feels good. Oh, okay, now we're having a night. Dude, that's when you pull out the galaxy. The galaxy. And you're like, okay, tonight's gonna be just a fantastic night. Like, this is gonna be a night to remember. Some people are gonna get their life changed tonight. Like crazy good stuff, right? That's the galaxy. That's what I'm talking about. So you pull it out, you get everybody lit on that. You know, now you're having a deep house party, right? Now some of you get what I'm saying. Now you're in a deep house party. Deep house party is what, you know, like Go, you know, the 90s movie Go. You get a deep house party, everyone's life gets changed, it's a little weird, kind of hard to talk about. It's like getting abducted by aliens, but like with your own friends. You're like, you know, there's missing time involved, there's flashing lights, there's drugs, you know, there's transportation issues. There's all sorts of things that just like flies up in the air. It's crazy. So getting stoned with friends is fantastic, because it gets past all this stuff and you're like, dude, this is fantastic. And then real stuff can happen. Real stuff. Like, you finally talk about all of the shows we've been watching. Come on. If you're with me at this point, you're definitely, you know, rational person. So it's like, we've crushed enough media. There's enough intelligent people out there, especially the ones of us that are internet compatible, and we're, you know, waking up and we go, dude, look at all this media we've watched. I'm an optimist, so I believe the collective human consciousness, that it wakes up, the preponderance of like people wake up when, you know, you gotta do good stuff. So the way I see it, I look around and go, dude, all these people, especially Americans, and from like, you know, 45 and under, we've been dealing with this just flood of multimedia with the way the whole paradigm shifted. Because the move to streaming services, it wasn't just a move to streaming services, it was a move to dispel the notions of time itself. Because prior to that, the mass media releases were linear in nature. Like, reruns were a recent phenomenon. So there was this more like very straightforward linear timeline. To include, even in the written media, encyclopedias being like the summation of sort of a written, accessible, public library/consciousness that Wikipedia has supplanted. So I've seen the consciousness go from more individual people on timelines, like linear timelines, three-dimensional time, and then through the last like 20 years, I've seen that the multiple timelines have been open. And the best tangible manifestation of it is Netflix. Because with Netflix, now basically now with Netflix and what it caused, which is also the streaming audio services, now we essentially have access to all the media of all timelines at one point. So whereas before there was like a linear progression of the time according to the mass media release, now it's more spherical. It's more all around the field. Plus, there's a growing understanding amongst people who watch Hollywood media that there's prophetic material in the material sometimes, which means that their futurists and their visionaries are actually sometimes they're hitting the mark. Sometimes you don't understand until after the fact or whatever, but it's just more evidence that people understand that, and that they're starting to understand. And I see evidence all around me that people at a growing ratio are waking up to that oh yeah, the time goes both ways. It doesn't work like it used to. There's more phenomenon occurring in the world that like mystical stuff, and the polls have gone up basically over the years, from the amount of people that say believe in paranormal activity, who either through experience or just rational thought, they just go, yeah, like paranormal activity, it either exists, or I've either experienced it, or I'm just comfortable that for sure, yeah, it exists. I've seen enough evidence or heard enough trusted people. And it's like that across the boards for some stuff where it's really just recently becoming actualized. Because I was pretty aware in the 80s, and it wasn't like this back then. There was a hope that stuff like this could occur. And now it's occurring, and people, I think just the more we become aware of it, like the better we're going to get at it. Because if we just start collectively connecting in that manner, which I think is what the big trend is, but I think the more that we just like are open about it, and instead of taking a aggressive competitive attitude to each other, we just do what these recent mass media pieces have shown us, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is showing us that as you grow spiritually and you ascend from like, okay, I'm a person, I can't even imagine being a hero, and then you go, oh, now I'm a hero, and then you keep doing stuff, and you're like, oh, now I'm a superhero, and then you kind of max out and you go, oh, well, what's the next thing, right? Well, Marvel showed us that. The next thing is the superheroes team up with other superheroes. That's the way it works. You get to the fifth dimension, you look around, you go, who's here? You go, okay, cool. You got powers, I got powers, let's roll. And all these superhero principles get unlocked. Just as we're living it out, it's more astral, whatever. And I mean, the thing is, there's just a way that just talking things out just activates you. And honestly, to me, that's really, that's been a very good path in Southern California of real people just doing stuff, and then there's this, at the core of it, there's this it's a natural sociological function for all of these sorts of lessons from people, because we're sentient beings and we're so aware that we constantly make media of ourselves and try to analyze our behavior. There's going to be this natural, transcendental, sociologically inevitable flow of that information and those transmissions to somewhere. And just the way it turned out, Southern California, for a variety of reasons, has just been more channeling that really than any other Earth civilization that we have access to knowledge of. In any system, you're going to have some level of corruption. Any good legal expert, or if you're in the insurance industry or bonds industry, if you work with numbers long enough, you'll just see that systems concepts can be 100%, but then once it gets filled with matter, there's a decay factor that almost immediately kicks in that is uncontrollable. There's like immediate deterioration that means you can't have a 100% perfect system, except for like maybe the moment it flashes into reality for a moment. But then that's not really a system, that's more of a display of purity. It's just like, it's very existential, it's very just straightforward science, you know? So, and in Southern California, when we smoke out, you know, I mean, boom, we're just like, a lot of us, dude. I've been around a lot of people, dude, a lot of people way so much more knowledgeable than me. And it's great to get high with those people, because then you just like, dude, I'm getting higher. That's why I love the Doors, because the Doors were all about that. I'm just like gonna get you so high. It's a sort of optimistic view that if you just get somebody an experience that gets them so high at least once. It doesn't have to be drugs, just something like an inspirational moment or something that just fundamentally activates a person's like joyful bond with life. Yeah. Well, if you can do that, then you'll understand what I do for people. You'll notice stoners, good stoners especially, it's cliched, but we end up talking about sociological issues a lot. And I think it's because at the core of it, you know, we're altruistic. And we're smart because, you know, and look at my eyes, I mean, come on, fucking baked. But, you know, eventually those deep talks, you know, they end up mattering. It's pretty cool. I like it. But, you know, there's lots of other stuff. There's lots of other stuff to talk about. That ladder goes up higher. Oh yeah, I'm in deep space. Like skydiving space or something. So any of you actors out there will know, you know, that's exploring the space. It gets real. I know, it's the crazy part. Especially when the imagination is really activated. Like it really gets real. It feels good. Feels good. LA. I'm an LA native. I was born in Long Beach. Grew up in the Valley, San Fernando Valley. Yeah. Then I went to high school in San Jose. Yep. And then I went to West Point for 4 years. Then I went to a year of flight school in Bama. Then I lived in 4 different cities in Germany, which was a blast. Being a military pilot, high-ranking officer, all this like crazy high-level stuff. Then I bounced back, did a couple more years, and then I got into stand-up comedy. Moved back to LA in 05. Dude, and then the rest of that story, that's just like, that's so deep. It's too deep. Sometimes my life gets too deep. Too deep. Everybody come over here and see how deep I am. Look, I told you could turn down the volume. So let the pugs watch me. Dude, let the pugs watch. Come on, now that's something. Right? Right? Let the pugs watch. 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 Watch what? Let the pugs watch. Let the pugs watch. Let the pugs watch. Watch what? Watch what? Watch what? Let the pugs watch. Let the pugs watch. Let the pugs watch. Watch what? Let the pugs watch. She's like, damn. They gonna let the pugs watch? They gonna let the pugs watch? Damn! Dude. Let the pugs watch. Let the pugs watch. Let the pugs watch. Watch what? You can't. Dude. I don't even know if I should be talking about letting the pugs watch. Should I even be talking about letting the pugs watch? Can I get a ruling on that? I feel like I'm at the bowling alley at the restaurant at the end of the universe. Like if the restaurant at the end of the universe from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams' perfect universe of absurdity and British bureaucracy and like a tasteless bureaucratic thread. Yeah, if I was at the restaurant at the end of the universe and I had a bowling alley, yeah, I'd probably be Canoga Bowl. But that's how I feel right now. Yeah. What do you want? God blessed me with these just like gorgeous horse teeth. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Some of us are Shreks and some of us are donkeys. Hee-haw! Hee-haw! Some of us Rex. Some of us are donkeys. Didn't see that one coming. Did not see that one coming. So what else we got going on here? What's the score? What do we got? These are a good choice. Plus, they're edibles. You can see all the stats right there. Those are stats, bro. Stats. They don't lie. That's why I call them stats. Stats can't lie. But this is science. These are just measurements. So, 100 milligrams THC. You see the rest, right? It's a hybrid. It says hybrid, which means that in between, you pop these off, and these little squishy edibles. Sour blueberry, so good. Just walking, just want to say, sour blueberries, so good, so good. Yeah, they're delicious. They get me like perfectly lit, creative, like super creative. Fuller disclosure, I ate a full one of these before we started the smoke sesh. You're welcome. Grazie. Ciao, grazie. Ciao, grazie. They were just having a weird smoke out sesh. This is how they can go. Especially when you're smoking out with Clown Man. Yeah, no, it'd definitely be cool if this was a call-in show. I hear you, Psychic Network. What do we got tonight? We'll do it a call-in show now. I'll just use my psychic abilities. Okay. You know it's cool? Of course you know it's cool, because you're here. Because you're here. Little less information, just more. Back into the screen, just an image. For what it's worth, I never recommend that anyone actually put on the rainbow wig themselves and go around public. That's a choice a person's got to make for themselves. Turns out, a bunch of people got their own rainbow wigs. Not a surprise. But you know, so that's good, you know. Hey, I remember I met Jesus in Beverly Hills. Comedy Store, actually. Comedy Store was the first time I met Hollywood Jesus. I was going up to, I think I was performing at the Belly Room that night, or I was going up to the Green Room, at least. Who knows? Yeah, I went there. I was with my brother, and we were going to the room, Belly Room, and as we went around the right side, where you go to the back and you hang the left, he was sitting on the that little wall there that faces that's like the parking lot divider. Dude, I was just like, I was all geared up for my own like Hollywood night, especially then, because it'd be like, oh dude, let's hit Sunset Strip and like really just like go hard, you know, be like play hard, be just like live out a bunch of like Hollywood hustling stuff, right? And so we roll in, and dude, there's the Jesus. And dude, I wasn't really ready for that. I was like, because it just hit me surprisingly real. It just, whatever. It was like some part of my cortex programming just was like, no, you're just gonna deal with this now. Involuntarily, like, you gotta be like, yo, dude, is that Jesus? And even like whatever your decision is, like, it still emotionally resonates. So I'm just like, holy shit, like, and he did it super well. Like, he's bringing the spiritual vibe and everything. It's just like you would imagine the Sunday school Jesus would be like if he was in Hollywood. It's just impeccable. And I'm not the first guy to discover this guy. He's been doing this shit for like a long time. And so I was like, oh my god. So that changed my life. I didn't even realize it would. And so he nailed it. And then I ended up later on, we ran into him a couple more times. One time was at the park across the street from the Beverly Hills Hotel. And we were there with him, and we had our buddies of ours, the Bro Code band. They were this like amazing acoustic trio that would go around and just like sing and troubadour for people. They're great. So all three of us ended up meeting up at this park one night because I guess we were the three sets of the preeminent street performers in Beverly Hills and West Hollywood area. So one night, fate just all brought us together. We got this fantastic photo of it, which is great because you don't always get those moments on photo. But yeah, we met them up, and it was cool, man. All three sets of us. It was interesting because the Jesus was 1, and then me and my brother were a 2, and then the Bro Code band was a 3. So not only do we have 3 preeminent street performers meet up, but then the sequencing was 1, 2, 3. So, you know, a lot of that, when that stuff lines up, sort of the metaphysical math of it, which you're not really necessarily looking for at the time. It's just when you look back on a powerful moment, you go, oh, whoa, that's cool how like that stuff pops out later on. Yeah, that was a powerful evening. Then they were cool, man. It was so cool because just when you get in it for so long, especially that type of thing, you're not thinking that someone else is really doing it in a way that you are either. You don't discount it, but you kind of have to write it off. At least for a period of time, because you get so deep in it. At least we did. And you know, and I've done that also individually in my life. So life can be crazy deep that way. But the thing is with patience, a lot of times the stuff resolves itself, and you're just like, whoa, welcome back to the station. So with those guys, meeting up with those guys in the park was really cool because it validated a bunch of stuff that I was going through, my brother was going through, doing this sort of unique style life performances, while still being like, yo, dude, I'm on the inside, I'm just totally sane. It's just like life is having me apply my skills in this sort of uniquely ridiculous way. And then you come to find out that, you know, most civilized adults, when they get through a certain portion of life, they all have versions of that. It's just, oh, okay. Can people articulate it? Not everybody's stuff is as deep as everybody's, and not everybody does self-analysis, but, you know, that's why LA is nice, because LA's got a bunch of those people that are willing to be just really deep about their life and open, and that's cool. So, you know, so wearing this, has that type of sort of consciousness, come through stream of consciousness wise, because just sort of unifying, just like full spectrum color frequency thing. So just sort of opens people up, and then I'm just very straightforward and sort of universal about stuff as best I can. And I find out a lot, there's a lot of people out there that, that's how they're doing their thing. Just to some degree, I'm helping draw people's attention to it, and that's fun. I like that. So yeah, when I get high and I ramble, I got all that stuff. You can see what's on my head. You can see what's on my mind. Trying to help out. Like, what's some other good stuff? Yeah, Elon Musk, he's killing it. He's figuring out. He's always look back. If you ever study, visionaries, and how, if they're understood or not or whatever, like the Edison Tesla thing. A lot of people thought, damn, wish we had Tesla, which really kind of fueled the Gates Jobs thing, because we were like, dude, we don't want to lose another Tesla with Jobs, and that turned out pretty well. And now Musk is just like, he's doing a bunch of great stuff that they said couldn't be done 20 years ago. The big automobile companies definitely colluded to keep electric cars away, and they were gonna stop the competitors at any cost for a while, and then somehow Elon Musk just nope, slipped right through. It's a huge hit, and now he's changing the entire automotive game, because he just announced robo-taxis, which means it means a lot. It means a lot. It's going to be way better for sociological flow, that's for sure. Efficiency is going to go way up. It's going to change the culture in a way where it's going to, like Minority Report. It's definitely going to be the future, trust me. If there were any people that were like, dude, I don't know, did the future really happen? Some older people, it's a thing. You need some oh no, we're really in the future, because they promised a lot of tech, and they were telling everybody about Moore's law for so long that even the layperson was like, yeah, dude, technology is gonna just double and double and double and double, and so when you for legit every day, say you're a 60-year-old dude, you just sort of checked out on it. It's not that you're against it or not against it. It's just you just sort of checked out on it. Then now in a year or two, there's gonna be driverless robot taxis that run on electricity that you can just call with your phone. Just driverless cars on the street, bro. That's a big deal. That's a big deal, And so so those are sort of the tipping points. A lot of us who watch out for sociological metrics are looking for that, and oh yeah, the war for profits have gone down. The global war industry has been shrinking the last 5 years at least. That book Homo Sapiens, I think, said since 2000. Despite there's definitely been efforts to stoke it, but recently, it's been down. And that whole paradigm, you don't want to talk about that one too much, but definitely it's reasonable to ask people to just reapportion their budgets appropriately, given the states of new levels of infrastructure and improved relationships. Because really, you can just get everybody rich. You just gotta find you just have to help people transfer over, get them super rich. And if rich people want to be rich, keep them rich. That's fine. There's no reason to make rich people feel unstable. Whatever. If they're not good at being rich, somebody just needs to show them how to be more ballers. They'll learn that's the best way to spend your money is on good stuff. Positively grow stuff. Trust me. That's totally possible. That's totally reasonable. Whatever, dude. What people freak out about, we're gonna get rich and then they can't be as sensual as they want, or live out some liberating fantasies. I mean, whatever. But you gotta get, I mean, dude, come on. We got enough stuff in the world, right? I've looked at the numbers. We got enough stuff in the world. We can make everybody, we can make the whole world pretty dope. We kind of make it like being a permanent member of like some basic version of Disneyland. It's like, if we wanted to. That's if, you know, you just had real political meetings where people, you know, genuinely wanted to do that. Which, whatever. I mean, that's the utopic, optimistic level. Obviously, the world's not in that position. But environments change, man. They definitely do. And yeah, in positive ways. Very positive ways. I mean, dude. Positive. It's crazy. Like the Muppets. I'm not talking anything like crazy. I think if you just generate positive energy as a species and you just try to put out more positivity while being realistic, you just, you know, it just gives life a chance to, I sound like Goldblum. It gives life a chance. It does. Being positive gives life a chance. That's all I'm trying to say, right? So, this is how like Smoke Sesh works, right? To go through all that rambling nonsense. It's not nonsense. And just get to, you know, being positive gives life a chance. It's just like electrical engineering, basically. Because being positive, you just put some energy in the system, and whatever, you know, helps things out. Just put some positive vibes in the system. See what goes down. And then you just get better and better with it. Use your style. I mean, dude, for as much as I'm yickety yakking, I mean, I've been to so many live shows where a guitar player they just put it all through their guitar. Just like, boom, here you go. So good. And really, there's a ton of those people out there. And that's also, you know, that's who I see myself as. And dude, it's fun. It's got its moments. Like once a day, I'm gonna feel like a tortured artist. Hey. I'll tell you this much. I remember when I was in the army, I was feeling like a tortured soul, like a good like 16 hours a day. So, you know, once a day for at least a moment, compared to, oh man, gotta wake up and go work in the war machine. Huh. Not so sure about that. So reflecting back on it, that's actually a pretty good ratio change. I'm down with that. So thanks, California. Thanks, California. My home, Los Angeles, California, Southern California. Finally became a dude. That was cool. When I was a kid, man, in the 80s, I was like, thought about dudes. Like, Southern California, like, a dude's a cool person. You can't really, like, explain him. At least it was to me. Like, dude, like, he knows something special. Like, some of those American gladiators, they were, like, super, like enlightened dudes, basically. It's like, whoa. So then I was like, I remember as a kid, I was like, yeah, okay. So there's, like, dudes, and there's surfers, and all these, like, truly California, like Southern California people especially. There's dudes and surfers, and there's actors and celebrities, and like all these things were real to me as a kid. You know, growing up in San Fernando Valley mainly. And so I guess, you know, I always viewed that as like my tribe, I guess. Yeah. On some level at least. Yeah. Dude, I remember one of the cool things was when I was a kid, going to LA, dude, it meant this is increasing the probability that I might see a celebrity. Dude, I mean, as a kid, I was totally aware, living in LA, I'm like, dude, this is cool. Like, who knows? Maybe one day I could see a celebrity. To me, as a kid, seeing a celebrity would be like seeing a ghost or an alien, or like, I don't know, it'd just be some kind of minor miracle. It's the best way I can explain it. It'd be like a minor miracle. And I know my brother was excited about it, and I thought that was like a pretty normal thing to have in your mind. Like, yeah, dude, maybe I'll see a celebrity, and wanting to like really see one really bad, like meet a celebrity really bad, so bad, with a childlike passion. Yeah. So yeah, that's a part of Southern California childhood. I wasn't like an actor kid or anything. That was just part of like, yeah, that's like part of what I'm growing up with. That's part of me. And really, that's something that, you know, when I was in the Army and I was going to other places, as a Southern Californian, that was something they could rarely relate to. Which is fine, because they had their own things I could like rarely relate to. But when people, you know, around the nation go, oh, you know, you're a Southern California, you're a Los Angeles person, you know, there's definitely stereotypes. And they weren't unfounded. Like, oh, a bunch, you know, way out there, space cases, and, you know, we get all basically the fruits and nuts, and, you know, it's just all the bullshit. And I was like, I couldn't like articulate it to him. I'm like, dude, I don't know, were you 5 years old and just like wishing you could see a celebrity that day somewhere that you went in your reality? And then you end up meeting some of them. I was like 9 years old when I was at Knott's Berry Farm, and O.J. Simpson got in line behind me, my dad, my brother, and my sister. And then his wife, Nicole, showed up with the kids. So we were hanging out with OJ's wife and his kids for like, it's like an hour-long ride for the log ride. My dad was a huge OJ fan, so he just talked him up. He loved it. He thought it was great. And then my brother he famously took this picture where I did not step into the picture. So I had some weird thing about wanting to respect OJ being cool. Like, I thought that was a cool move. It's like, dude, I'm not gonna bother this celebrity. He probably gets it all the time. Worst decision of my photo taking life, for sure. It looks like Back to the Future, where I'm like, there's like Marty and his brother and his sister, except it was my brother and my sister and OJ, and there's a space where I should be. Yeah, that's been hilarious, because my brother, he loves to tell that story because it's a great story. He tells it better. I might even mess something up. But he like, it's hilarious because I'm not in the picture, and so that makes me laugh over the years. 'Cause that was like a whole sitch, right? You know, but it was that powerful. That's why I was wishing for it as a kid to meet a celebrity, because I'm like, dude, that could change your life. So we got connected. I got connected to, you know, real LA history by spending that time with O.J. Simpson. You know, because I was living in LA as a kid, and so those were things that when I left Los Angeles to go do other things, just because circumstances, I couldn't necessarily articulate that type of thing to someone that doesn't live in an area that has comparably powerful figures. You know, it's not to say that they don't exist. I just didn't run into many people. So I had to be a dude about it and be like, okay, cool, da-da-da, do all that stuff. When I came back, it was really nice to, you know, be back around that. You know, some of it's just stupid shallow, but it's almost always for deep reasons. So whatever, it's a whole thing, just like any other portion of life. Right? This is good. We're in a good group, good sesh here. Oh. So we're going all over the place. A little smooth jazz. A little smooth jazz. So yeah, when you get stoned, man, you can take it a lot of places. Especially when you're getting solo creative stoned. You know, whatevs. Have an open mind. See what pops in. Let it run through your head. See what you got. Look, I enjoy doing a lot of things when I get high. Jamming instruments is great. Massages are fantastic. Basketball, pickleball, movies are fantastic. Fantastic. You know, when you're of legal age, void where prohibited. Whatever. But yeah, these ones are good. Let's do a little refresher. Put a little topper. Some more of this bud. Looking good. See, the thing is, we haven't really smoked all that much. You don't have to smoke that much, by the way. Stuff's potent, dude. Dudettes, whatever. Wherever you are out there. Hopefully you're still letting the pugs watch. You don't have to hit too much. Sometimes just like 1 or 2 puffs is enough to get the ball rolling. Plus, you get the best feeling out of it when you get the dosage proper. So there's no real incentive to over smoke. You just smoke till you feel good, and then you just feel good. Then you just do things you like to do when you feel good. I happen to like this. I just, we're making this fun video. Option is still there to have it on mute. Soothing sounds of the masters. See, when you first see me, you're thinking, this guy's being irresponsible. What's with the tie? Why is it so loose, guy? Why is the top? In some way, it's even more, than this. Like, why? Why? Trying to have a good time? What's with that? We all know if you're responsible, you definitely, for sure. It's not this. It's that last 1%. You're like, look. You're like, look. Can't you do this? Can't you? Like, what's so wrong about that? In their mind. I don't think anything necessarily. It's just hotter and cooler. Keeps it going. Business swag, dude. That's what they should have. Casual Friday. I'm going to help you guys kick Casual Friday out the door. You rolled this long. So what we should have is Business Swag Friday. Let's do it. Whatever. Something like this. basically, there's enough places where you go business swag. Some places business swag all the time. Some places just employ artists. But if you're in a professional creative area, or even just like a professional area, instead of the Casual Friday, inject a little inspiration in the day, whatever. Go with Business Swag Friday. I don't know. Once a season, once a month, I don't know. But you do it like this. Yeah, dude. If you wear those old amusement park hats you got that you can't wear anywhere, but you're like, dude, that was a dope day. Amusement park hat, I like that. Boom. Business Swag Friday, that's on. If you want to do something like, I don't know, always want to wear a derby. It's like real nice, like 19th century. No, like the $75 one is felt. It looks good. I want to wear it for real, but people are probably going to laugh at me. Dude, Business Swag Friday? Boom, bust that out. Maybe you're a derby man. You're a derby person. You just do it. Thanks, Shia. Cool dude. He's a cool dude. There you go. He did it. So let's just do it. Just do it. And he went out and he just did a bunch of stuff. Got super deep, super dope. Got all toned. He's like, he's a cool dude, I guess. Obviously. Cool dude. But yeah, you just do this stuff, man. Right? And that's what's a refresher, right? You're getting kicked back in. Kicked back in. I was already out there. I was out there. Seeing my books. This is basically just I'm just hangs. We're just hangs. I'm a little amped up, obviously. I'm here. We're here. It's like entertainment pleasure basically, or digital hangout, whatever you want to call it. Well, this is your captain speaking. We know you had a choice if you get high with digitally. Really pleased you got high with me, John, the Johniverse. Shooting this live at Monkey Mountain in Santa Clarita, Los Angeles, California. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I definitely hope you let the pugs watch. Smoke weed every day.